Time rolls ever forward, my friends, and so too do we. It is I, Preacher, and today is a special day, and as I'm one to do, I gotta take my lap. I had a lot of people telling me, and you've heard it too, how good Xbox is for the industry because of competition. You shouldn't wish bad on Xbox. Not that anybody was, but you shouldn't revel in the fall of Xbox. You shouldn't laugh at the fall of Xbox because we need competition. Who else could possibly come into the of course there were going to be people who come into the console space if Xbox moved. It was always going to be that. It could have been Amazon, it could have been Google, it could have been Apple, it could have been NetEase, it could have been Tencent, it could have been anybody. But Steam was pretty well positioned, and they had tried before. And now, with the success of Steam Deck and the rise of PC gaming, of course, they come right back to the console form factor because it works. Ladies and gentlemen, it works. You want to press a button. Now, here's the bag about the Steam PC. Even though it's nice, they've worked something out on the UI front. Big on the UI front. You no longer have to fight Windows. It's probably going to be a custom-baked version of Steam OS specifically for the console, or the whatever they're going to call it, a hybrid PC, whatever. And it's going to be nice. It's going to be nice. Now, I'm hearing it's a little low on VRAM, 8 gigs as opposed to the 16 of this generation. And of course, I think this comes out next year. We're edging on next generation. I'd say next generation really starts in 2027, 2028, sometime around there. And I think in that space, they're well positioned to drop this now and maybe even iterate by then with a Steam Deck Pro that then competes, depending on how well they do in the space, with that gen's console. But for now, just to get people in the door, maybe to see what they're working with, to see who would buy it. And I think a lot of people would. I think a good amount of people would. I think more people would buy that than well, maybe not, because Xbox already has their. Listen, I've never discounted Xbox's very hardcore base and the people who just like Xbox and who have grown up with Xbox and who are going to move with Xbox, right? So they have at least, right? Xbox has at least, this is a real estimate from me, at least like 12 to 15 million. At least 12 to 15 million core audience that isn't going anywhere. I truly believe that. And they're going to, unless they're completely priced out, buy whatever Xbox sends out to die next. But if you have Steam there, who is offering, because we already know Xbox's next device is going to be very premium by their own words. If Steam sends out a device and undercuts them by $200, does pretty much the same thing at medium settings, that's an issue. That's an issue, because then Xbox really isn't providing anything new to the market, which they weren't anyway. I can't be more clear about that. That has been my big issue with the next gen Xbox this entire time, is it's just a PC. And if it's a PC, fine. But the way people talk about it, and of course this is the thing, right? It's the semantics of gaming discourse, and it's the actual death of gaming discourse, because everything is so binary, right? People talk about the next Xbox as if it's not just a PC. And if you're happy for your PC, fine, do that, right? Like, have your PC, that's great. But it just is what it is, just in the same way that this Steam box is a PC. Nobody's questioning that just because it's in the space of a console. You know what I'm saying? And in that, it's not doing anything necessarily revolutionary either. Neither of these devices are doing anything revolutionary. They're making it easier to do or hopefully, right, easier to do. It's not even easier to play the games or to navigate, or it's really, excuse me, it is the navigation. The navigation and the UI elements is really the big thing. And I think when people actually start PC gaming, they're gonna kind of realize that that's like the lightest bit of because you're not gonna get out of tweaking and twerking. You're not gonna get out of messing with settings and downloading drivers and this and that. I don't think you're getting out of that. I think Steam will lessen it more than Microsoft seems to have with the Roger Ally, but you're not getting out of that. That's just what PC gaming is, and I think people are really gonna have to come to terms with that next generation on other consoles, because I'm going to be buying a regular console that just plays games. Well, call me crazy, call me old-fashioned, but that's what I'm going for. Oh man, but I gotta say, Steam, they just really, and everybody. I remember like last year, again, I'm just going to let you know, go back to these podcasts, fact check me, come let me know. Last year, a lot of these guys are talking about Steam and Xbox are going to be linking up, and oh man, they're best friends. They helped each other during the FTC trials. They're buddy. Gabe used to work at Microsoft. They're buddy. He said Xbox is the best console. They're buddy. Gabe is trying to cut Xbox's throat. Windows' throat. They're trying to put a stop to it. This is a battle on two fronts for them. Seriously. Steam is Steam. They just said they fighting with TikTok. Steam is fighting with you. Steam is fighting with you, boy. They want your spot. They want your console spot, and they want Windows for gaming. And they might get it. There's no reason that when these next tools and stuff are fully baked, and they're in a great position to, obviously they're not going to take over anything like Windows, but they could take a big bite. They could take a big bite out of the gaming section. You know what I mean? And that's trouble. And then I really think they can fucking roll them over in the consoles. I'm not quite sure. I don't think necessarily with this one you automatically see like console like numbers. I don't think you do, unless this thing is like $500, unless they really go for it and like really market it. And I mean, they could, man, they could, but I just don't know. And here's the thing, even though they do have everything, and they got the PR, they got the this, they got the that, do you really have exclusives? I heard we're hearing Half-Life 3 being tossed around. We're hearing this, we're hearing that. But it's 2025, about to be 2026. I've never played a Half-Life. I don't care. I don't care. I've heard about it, but I think people younger than me definitely don't care. That's for a specific generation, and I don't know. Maybe it's so good it's a must-have. Hopefully so. Just like Half-Life Alyx. Hopefully so. That would be nice. You know what? Actually, now that I think about it, this box is enticing to me because I have a PSVR 2 and could hook that up to the Steam box and play their exclusive Half-Life Alyx. Do you see how exclusives work? Do you see how that's enticing now for me to move into that ecosystem and buy games there and play there because there was something there worth playing? Odd concept. But I think that's essentially it. Actually, it's a bit weak. The Steam box, right? VRAM, we have 8 gigs as opposed to, I think I already said this actually, the 16 from PlayStation and Xbox, but it depends on upscaling. Technology is getting better and better. I expect to see something impressive next year. You know what I mean? FSR 4 comes out, and I'm sure Nvidia is not far behind with DLSS. I expect to see strides in that space. So, that could be an issue. It seems like they're upscaling from 1080p, whereas the consoles are usually upscaling from 1440p. So, extra work, extra latency, blah, 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 blah. You know how upscalers work at this point. But I think, like, for me, this could only ever be a companion device, right? And I think that's how they want you to think about it, sort of like your Steam Deck. And I think that's why they're going to try to price this thing low. I'm super excited. I'm glad to see more players in the console space. I want to see people who make Sony sweat. Oh, and this is the biggest thing about them sweating, right? We did see, speaking of sweat, we did see Phil Spencer's tweet, didn't we? Yeah, I did see that tweet, didn't you, boy? Hold up. Like, it's sad. It's pretty sad. But I don't even really know what he could say, because at the end of the day, they walked out doing what you plan to do at least 18 months beforehand. And now, and it's Steam. Like, Steam and Xbox are on complete opposite sides of the spectrum as to how they're viewed in the industry. So there's no, there's going to be very small wins here for Xbox. You're now coming out playing second fiddle to Steam. And that's going to be after like 18 months of updates from them updating this process, them getting it all together, making it even better. Whereas just based on what we've seen with the ROG Ally, I wonder if I don't have faith. I would not put my money down that Xbox is going to get this hybrid Xbox experience, full screen experience thing correct, Windows gaming PC hybrid thing correct in the next 18 months to launch it, right? I think that thing is still going to kind of be in beta by the time it comes out. And it's not going to exactly work how you want it to. Whereas I think that little Steam box is going to be rolling, which is not good. Boy, they sweating in Redmond right now. Somebody should look at like the, how they have the pizza thing for the Pentagon. Somebody should check on Redmond, because boy, it's going to be a late night. That's crazy. It's going to be rough for them, man. It's going to be rough for them. That now you hopped out of the pan and moved, what is it? Out of the pan and into the fire? You know what I mean? You thought you was competing with PlayStation. You thought PlayStation was in that ass. Boy, you think you're going to move in on Steam? And that was another thing about this whole thing. You know what I mean? That's ultimately what Xbox was trying to do. They was trying to compete with Steam on the slick, but Steam's trying to take their spot on the loud. Man, I feel like this whole thing is a shot fired, because they're not coming for PlayStation with it. I'm not going to lie. This is because everything we've been seeing PlayStation doing, right? We see the cross-buy. We see the speakers. We see the monitor, right? I'm here to tell you, if you haven't figured it out, PlayStation, this is my opinion. Now, PlayStation, I think the only way they're moving day and date is if they have a launcher. It only makes sense for PlayStation to have a launcher. And I think there's a strong chance. I don't know if they'll take their stuff off of Steam when they launch their launcher, but I think they won't be, it certainly won't be day and date. It certainly won't be day and date with Steam once they have a launcher. And, and again, here we go. Back to that main point. That's how they're making Sony sweat. Because we heard the rumors of Xbox, right, dropping their multiplayer costs. Now, that's said from pundits who are just scraping, just trying to get any goodwill out of any piece. Like, that it fundamentally breaks how consoles work, right? Especially because they rolled that multiplayer, it like Gold Live, you know what I mean? I really didn't play Xbox like that. Like Xbox Live Gold, right? Whatever that, right? Like they rolled that into Game Pass, and now that's part of their Game Pass like number. If they just say, hey, you don't have to pay for this anymore, Game Pass is gonna drop by like 10 million or something. Like that's gonna be crazy. Like that doesn't make sense, and that's like a lot of money a month to just lose, to just stop getting, especially since you're already letting people like shop around on different storefronts. That's why people say this thing is going to be like $1,200, because it doesn't make sense otherwise. It just doesn't make sense. Yeah, it just would. They have to make money at like the point of sale. It would not make sense otherwise. But if they do though, right? If they decide to take that hit, and Steam is already there. Steam's not, that's the thing. You're not going to have to pay. The savvy gamer, if you're sick of paying like monthly to access online or yearly or whatever, there you go. Steam's right there, because they're not going to charge you. And I could never blame you, because I think it's bullshit too. But this is just where the games is at for me. You know what I mean? So that's just that's the tax I pay for it. But, you know, if Steam's here and they don't do it, and then Microsoft also doesn't do it, then PlayStation is going to be pushed. They're going to have to stop. They're going to have to stop, because that will get loud. That will get very, very loud. That will, poof. And I hope it does. So we could just put a stop to all that. Maybe they just do it themselves. Sony, to their credit, has been really pro-consumer the last couple weeks. They put like 3,000 games on PS Portal streaming. So you can just, if you buy a Portal, you have access to like 3,000 games if you pay like basically their Game Pass subscription, right? PS Plus. That's pretty dope. You know what I mean? And their streaming technology is really good. If you haven't used it, I remember I used it the first day it came out. It was horrible. But then I used it again this generation, and I've been using it a lot. It's really great. It's really, really great. So if you have that device, it just got a whole bunch more functionality. That's awesome. They also had that Japanese state of play, which was awful for me. I'm not gonna lie, not gonna sugarcoat that. That had nothing for me practically. Really, really low for me. But what I did like, I did see the monitor. I think that's cool. You know what I mean? I thought that was cool. And I see the what is it? The Japanese PS5. Right? Switch does this. They have a discounted PlayStation for their own region. And I think that's cool. And I think that's going to lead to like a lot more sales. I think they're going for like, I think, you know, when everybody says like, first of all, when people are like, PlayStation is dying, Concord almost killed PlayStation, I think PlayStation is riding pretty high right now. And I think that they're trying to go for kill shots here. I think they're trying to become the home console. If you play game, you play PlayStation. And that's why, with Steam entering, like, I'm so excited about this. I don't think I'm going to get this device myself. I have a ROG Ally. I don't play AAA games on PC. I play them on PlayStation, and I'm okay with that. So, you know, this device doesn't have too much use for me. But I love that it's a real piece of competition. It is genuine competition. And you know what I hope? I hope they have some fucking exclusives. You know what I mean? Well, Dota 2, right? They're going to have some exclusives, right? That's what the fuck I'm talking about. Come on. And I hope PlayStation is also ordering. I hope they're ordering a lot of fucking ramen right now. I hope they're taking one more shot at the bar and getting back to it, because Steam just entered the chat for real. And that's exciting. But that's where we're at now. We don't have the price. We're gonna have to see where it lands. But we are in interesting times in the gaming industry. Interesting times everywhere, but certainly in gaming.